almost like the Flashpoint, where it starts, one of the key matrix lines that will help shatter this status centralized system.
Good evening, friends. I'm Jay-Z, and this is Flashpoint Radio. I missed you on Thursday and Friday of last week due to some medical complications in the family. All is well. Situation rectified. And I won't be seeing you on a regular basis this week or for the next 14 days, it seems. I am heading on vacation out of the state, and we'll be doing some planning, packing, and preparation for some getting back to nature that should do my body and my mind good. I will try to bring some news to you this week on a periodic basis, maybe hopefully 3 reports this week, but since time is of the essence, we're going to get right into the news for Monday, July 9th, 2012. We're going to start with Syria. Out of The Guardian, Hillary Clinton issues stern warning to Assad as war of words escalates. The Syrian president accused Washington of fueling bloodshed by arming rebel forces as country risks reaching point of collapse. That is already a proven fact in mainstream news. Just search Syrian rebels paid by the United States or the UN. Hillary Clinton was in, I believe, Tokyo, and she had some words for Assad. She said that the sand is running out of the hourglass for Bashar Assad and his regime. And she said that the worsening situation risked pushing Syria to the point of collapse. She noted that the last month was the bloodiest of the conflicts so far, and we have documented how the bloodiest so far was basically a lie put on by the propagandist globalist media and the rebels that we are funding in Syria, namely Al-Qaeda. She added there was, quote, still a chance to save the Syrian state from a catastrophic assault that would be very dangerous not only to Syria, but to the region. So she states if nothing can be done, catastrophe would follow in Syria and the rest of the region. Note that. And then I want you to go to this article on Infowars.com by Paul Joseph Watson. Shocking videos reveal truth behind Syrian freedom fighters. And I want you to watch some of these videos. They are graphic. I will not show any of them here, but it basically goes over the actual atrocities performed and committed by the Syrian rebels that are funded by us and you, your tax dollars, and then the fake propaganda news put on by the Syrian rebels showing them staging dead bodies, faking blood, putting out fake bombs and fake explosions, laughing on camera. Yes, the propaganda is clear to everyone but the American media. Just remember, when that catastrophe comes in the Middle East, and we have to put a no-fly zone over Syria and drop peace bombs, remember, it is a lie. They are telling you this just to get our military in action and to get your mind and focus off of the crashing economy here at home. And on the economy at home, let's move back to our country and to a gentleman I was sad to see leave the Obama administration, Robert Gibbs, the former mouthpiece, former press secretary for President Barack Obama. He had this to say this morning on MSNBC's Morning Joe.
Why should I continue to allow Barack Obama to drive the bus when I have another option?
Because when Barack Obama got the keys to the bus, it was trapped in the ditch with 3 flat tires. We've changed the tires, we've pulled the bus out of the ditch, and we're starting up the road to strengthening the middle class. There's a different theory. Mitt Romney wants to take that bus, probably a bus made in Switzerland or Bermuda, and he wants to turn that bus around.
Yeah, he said they pulled the bus out of the ditch, and he said there's a different theory that Mitt Romney wants to take that bus, and he said probably a bus made in Switzerland or Bermuda and wants to turn that bus around. Okay, Mr. Hypocrite, let's look at this article that shows clearly that Barack Obama's campaign bus that he's driving around plastered with his logos was made in Canada. So maybe maybe before you open your big mouth, you should do a little research, because you're about to put your foot in it, and you just did. Barack Obama has not pulled anything out of the ditch. He has gotten shovels, handed them all to his socialist, communist, fascist friends, and decided to dig a larger ditch, and then set the bus on fire, and lock the doors with freedom, liberty, and every American citizen inside. Mitt Romney will not save you, though. Don't get me wrong. I am not saying run to Mitt Romney. The only thing that will save you is turning your back on this corporate fascist system that has been taken over. We do not have the government our founders set up. Therefore, we need to turn our back on this system and demand a return to the Constitution, Bill of Rights, and the Declaration of Independence. Documents that can fit in our pocket, not 2,500-page bills that steal our medical freedom like Obamacare. We're going to move to a few stories from the New York Times, and it seems the New York Times is already pivoting, possibly to take advantage of a Mitt Romney win in November, or possibly because they stopped making money and they realized that they had to start telling the truth and covering some issues that Americans were really itching to hear about. From the New York Times Magazine, The Drone Zone. This is a great article by Mark Mazzetti about Holloman Air Force Base on the eastern edge of New Mexico's White Sands Missile Range, where they train our remote drone pilots for the Air Force. Goes over some training tactics. He sat in on some training, and they were sitting in on a presentation by the trainers and trainees where they were showing a drone tracking an SUV down a road in the desert. And one of the reporters asked, quote, "Wait, you guys practice tracking enemies by using civilian cars," unquote? One Air Force officer responded that this was only a training mission, and then the group was quickly hustled out of the room. Seems that reporter asked a question that was not meant to be asked. And another part of this article that I'd like you to note, the pilots that were there when the reporters were there wore black tape over their name tag. The Air Force, citing concerns for pilot safety, forbids them to reveal their last names. To me, that is a modern-day form of putting a black bag over an executioner's face so no one can see him do it. Way to check your humanity at the door, pilots. This is not a video game. This is not Call of Duty. These are real human beings that are dying at the end of your joystick. And then they're, going to have 30,000 drones flying above our heads by the end of this decade. And I'll be certain, or you can be certain, that they will be armed and they will be looking for you if you love liberty. But if you kiss their boots, they'll leave you alone until they need you for something else. Another article from the New York Times seems to me they're going in one direction. More demands on cell carriers and surveillance. Another good article showing that cellular companies are responding to an increased number of requests from government agencies and law enforcement agencies for data on their customers. And it seems it's been increasing every year in the 12 to 16% range. AT&T alone now responds to an average of more than 700 requests a day, with 230 of them regarded as emergencies that do not require the normal court orders and subpoena. Of course, the law enforcement officers or the government says it's an emergency, we don't need a warrant, the Constitution does not apply in an emergency, and those carriers give them right over. Sprint led all carriers with at least 1,500 data requests on average a day. A day, your government and other agencies are requesting data 1,500 times a day from cellular phone carriers. You're not safe anywhere, my friends. And finally, we will end on this article. Please read it, because this goes over the facts and statistics regarding the failing educational system in this country. From the Wall Street Journal, America has too many teachers. Public school employees have doubled in 40 years, while student enrollment has increased by only 8.5%. And academic results have stagnated, if not fallen. Yes, since 1970, the public school workforce has roughly doubled. 50% increase to 6.4 million from 3.3. And 2/3 of those hires are teachers and teachers' aid. And enrollment, student enrollment, has only increased by 8.5%. Where's that population boom everyone was talking about? We have too many people. Maybe we have too many teachers, like this article goes over. And it reads the statistics, the same statistics put out by the federal government that shows that in math and reading, there is no growth, except in the minorities, which the minorities, as they become a larger portion of the population, will naturally increase their test scores. But science has declined. Math, reading, stagnant. And in whites, stagnant or lowered. Yes. So while Barack Obama is saying we need to throw more money at our education system in this country, we've been doing that since 1970. And guess what? Remember, I believe it was, 1976, 1978 that the Federal Department of Education was actually created? That's not in the Constitution or the Bill of Rights either, my friends. The answer is to eliminate the Federal Department of Education and create 50 experimental rooms, experimental classrooms, if you will, in every state, and every state can experiment on the best way to teach children, and other states can learn from that. It is not giving federal money to go for school choice or school vouchers or magnet schools or charter schools. No, it's about taking away federal money and putting it back into the community. The money for education should stay as close to the students as possible, and it should be pay per play. It should be fee for service, like everything else should be. If you're getting a good service, you should pay a higher cost. That's how the free market works. That's how prosperity is made. That's all Jay-Z has for you today on Flashpoint Radio. I'll see you probably tomorrow or maybe Wednesday. Come back and see me signing off saying God bless and keep your eyes to the sky.